Welcome back, students. This is Dr. Mercado. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. This is a continuation lecture over Chapter 2, which deals with computing wages and salaries. Okay, I hope all of you are practicing the different problems, working on them during the week. That way you don't fall behind and are trying to complete all of your homework assignments on Sunday at the very last moment. Please pace yourself during the week to read, review the PowerPoints, do the quiz, and work on your homework problems. Remember, the homework problems, you can save them and resume them at a later point in time. Okay, so I'm going to continue with Chapter 2 content. I'm going to dive right into the problem solving. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be solving for exercise 2-8 and 2-9 from chapter 2. Okay. So the first one, the first problem that we're going to be working on is exercise 2-8A. So this problem reads, Joseph Cavato is paid $12.96 per hour. During the past week, he worked 46 hours, and he is a covered employee who must be paid overtime. Calculate his gross pay using the overtime premium approach. Okay, before in the prior lecture, we learned about calculating overtime using the 1.5, the time and a half rate. Okay, in this case, they're being very specific. They're asking you to use the overtime premium approach, which is a different approach of calculating your overtime. Okay, so I've put here, this is coming straight out of your book. It says that the other method of calculating overtime is the overtime premium approach, which is what we're using now. Okay. When we use this method, we're going to get the total hours worked, including overtime hours, and we're going to multiply it by the regular rate of pay. And then the overtime premium pay is calculated by multiplying the overtime hours by an overtime premium rate of 1/2 the regular hourly rate. Okay, so what does all that mean? Okay, so let's start working on this problem. That way we can see what is it that they're referring to dealing with the overtime premium approach. Okay, so it says here first we're going to get the total hours worked including overtime hours. Okay, so including overtime hours. So for letter A, okay, we are going to get the regular pay. Okay, the regular pay. And that is going to be the total hours, which is 46 hours. That's how many hours he worked. Regular pay, 46 hours. And we're going to multiply that by the hourly rate of $12.96. Okay. Let me get my calculator out and let me see what we get. Okay. So that's 46 hours times $12.96. That gives me $596.16. Okay. Now I'm going to get my overtime premium pay. Okay. Overtime premium pay. And then that's going to be, how many hours do we have over 40? Well, we have 6 hours over 40. And then I'm going to multiply that. It says here the overtime premium pay is calculated by multiplying the overtime hours, which is 6, by an overtime premium rate of 1/2 the regular hourly rate. So my regular hourly rate is $12.96. I'm going to multiply that by 0.5. That's 1/2 of the regular rate. And that's going to give me a rate of $6.48. So how do we do that again? You're going to get your hourly rate of $12.96 and you're going to multiply by 1/2. That's 0.5. And that's going to give you your overtime rate of $6.48. Okay? Okay. And then that's going to give us 648 times 6 hours. Oh, sorry about that. 648 times 6 hours. That's going to give me 38.88. Okay. Okay. And now we can calculate the gross pay. Okay. And the gross pay is going to be your regular pay plus your overtime premium pay. Okay. And then that's going to be your 596.16 plus your 38.88. And that gives you 635.04. Okay. So this is how we calculate overtime using the overtime premium approach. First, you multiply the total hours, including the overtime hours, times the regular rate of pay. Then you calculate the overtime premium pay by getting the number of hours overtime, which was 6, anything over 40, times half of the hourly rate, which is 648. So 1296 times 0.5 gives us a 648, and that gives us an overtime premium pay of 3888. So our gross pay is the sum of your regular pay plus your overtime premium pay. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Okay, just following the information provided there. Okay? Now, this one is a little bit more challenging. It gives us a lot of information. Students tend to get confused with this problem. Okay? So, exercise 2.9, it says, under the decimal system of computing time worked at Timmerman Company, production workers who are tardy are docked according to the schedule shown below. So if you're between 1 to 6 minutes late, you're going to get deducted 1/10 of an hour. Between 7 to 12 minutes late, 2/10 of an hour. Between 13 to 18 minutes late, 3/10 of an hour. And anything over 19 minutes late, you're going to get docked 4/10 of an hour, between 19 to 24, okay? So the regular hours of work Monday through Friday are from 7:30 to 11:30 a.m. and then from 12:30 to 4:30. That gives you an hour lunch, okay? From 11:30 to 12:30 is the lunch. During 1 week, Henry Vanderhoff, who earns $12.15 an hour, reports in and checks out as shown below, and they're giving you a time card. Employees are not paid for ringing in a few minutes before 7:30 and 12:30, nor for ringing out a few minutes after 11:30 and 4:30. So this is very important. Employees are not paid. So if you ring a couple of minutes early, you're not getting paid. If you ring out a couple of minutes late, you're not getting paid, okay? Between the hours of 7:30 to 12:30 and 11:30 to 4:30, okay? Now, they're asking us to refer to the time card and compute A, the hours worked each day, B, the total hours worked, and then C, the gross earnings for the week, okay? So, let's start working on the problem. I went ahead and I created this little diagram. That way you can see how we're going to be doing the calculations, okay? So, we've got Monday through Friday. So we're going to look at Monday, at the time card right here for Monday, okay? We're looking at the time card. So you clocked in 2 minutes early. What does it say here? It says that if you clock in a few minutes before 7:30, you do not get paid. So you're not getting paid for those 2 minutes. You clocked out a minute late after 11:30. It says here that if you clock out a few minutes after 11:30, you don't get paid. So that doesn't affect your time card. You clocked in 1 minute early from lunch. You're not going to get paid. It says here you're not going to get paid if you clock in a couple of minutes early. You clocked out 1 minute late. It says here you're not going to get paid. So that means you work from 7:30 to 11:30. That's 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. That's 4 hours. And then you work from 12:30 to 4:30. So that's 12:30, that's 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. So that means that you worked 8 hours, which is a normal work day. Okay, 8 hours. Are we going to have any deductions for that day? No, 0 deductions. Yes, you clocked in a little early, you clocked in a couple of minutes late, but those are within the norms of the company. You're not going to get docked for that, okay? So, how many hours did we work? We worked 8 hours, okay? Now, let's pay attention to Tuesday. At what time are you supposed to clock in? You're supposed to clock in at 7:30. At what time did this employee clock in? This employee clocked in at 7:35. This employee is 5 minutes late. So, I know I need to dock him 1/10 of an hour, okay? And then let's look at the rest of the day. He clocked out at 11:30, which is fine. He clocked back in at 12:30, which is perfect. And then he clocked out at 4:30, which is the time he should clocked out. So the only issue we have with Tuesday is that he clocked in 5 minutes late. Because he clocked in 5 minutes late, we're going to dock him, and we're going to dock him 1/10. Now, I'm going to put that into decimals. 1 divided by 10 gives me 0.10, okay? So I'm going to dock him 0.10, okay? So if I'm docking him 0.10, that's 8 hours minus 0.10. That gives me 7 hours and 90 minutes, 7.90, okay? That is how many That's how much I'm going to pay him for that day because he is getting penalized 0.10, a fraction of the hour, because he was late 5 minutes. Now, what happened on Wednesday? On Wednesday, this employee clocked in at 7:50 when he should have clocked in at 7:30. This employee is 20 minutes late. So, if the employee is 20 minutes late, he is going to get docked 4/10 of an hour. Let's look at the rest of the day. Okay, he clocked out at 11:33, a couple of minutes after. He's not going to get penalized for that. He clocked in a couple of minutes early from lunch. He's not going to get penalized for that. And he clocked in 2 minutes late after 4:30. According to this, if you ring out a few minutes after 4:30, you're not going to get paid. Okay, so the only issue is that he arrived 20 minutes late. So because he arrived 20 minutes late, we're going to look at our little deduction chart here. It says if you're 20 minutes late, I'm going to dock you 4/10 of an hour. So I'm going to do 4 divided by 10. That's 0.40 deduction. Okay. So I'm going to get 8 hours of my regular day minus my deduction. That means that this employee worked that day 7.60 hours. Okay, on Thursday. Thursday, the employee clocked in 3 minutes early. He's not going to get paid for that. The employee clocked out for lunch at 11:31. 1 minute late. He's not going to get penalized for that. But now look at this. The employee clocked in back from lunch at 12:50. At what time did the employee have to clock back in for lunch? The employee should have clocked back in at 12:30. That's an hour lunch. The employee clocked in after lunch 20 minutes late. So he should have clocked in at 12:30. He clocked in at 12:50. That's a 20-minute tardiness. Okay? So 20-minute tardiness equals to 4/10 of a deduction. And then he clocked out at 4:33. He's not going to get paid for those 3 minutes extra because it says so right here. If you ring out a few minutes after 4:30, you don't get paid. So the only issue with Thursday was that the employee clocked in from lunch 20 minutes late. So 20 minutes translates to 4/10 of an hour. So that means it's a 0.40 penalty deduction. So that means that the employee on Thursday worked 8 hours minus the fractions hours deducted of 0.40. That is 7.60. Okay, let's look at Friday. At Friday, the employee clocked in at 7:28. 2 minutes early. He's not going to get paid for that. He clocked out for lunch at 11:32. 2 minutes late. He's not going to get penalized for that. The employee clocked in from lunch at 12:40. Now, the employee should have clocked in from lunch at 12:30. The employee is 10 minutes late. Okay? 10 minutes late from lunch. So the employee should have had lunch from 11:30 to 12:30. The employee clocked in at 12:40. That's 10 minutes late. So that means he's going to get penalized 0.20. Okay? 2/10 of an hour. And then he clocked in at 4:30, which is the correct time. So the only issue we have with Friday is that the employee clocked in late from lunch 10 minutes. Because he clocked in 10 minutes late, he is going to get penalized 2/10 of an hour. That's 2 divided by 10. That's 0.20. So that's a 0.20 penalty. So the employee is working 8-hour days, and I'm going to subtract the fraction hours deducted. That's 7.80. Okay. So this gives me my hours worked each day. That is requirement A. Okay. Now, what is the total hours worked? Where I'm going to add my hours Monday through Friday. Okay, I'm going to add those. And that gives me total hours worked of 38.90 hours. Okay. Okay, 38.90 hours, which can also be 38 and then 9/10 of an hour. Okay. You can do it in decimals or you can do it in fractions. But it's the same thing, 38, 9/10 of an hour or 38.90. To me, decimals are just easier, so I just do it in decimals. Now, requirement C. What is the gross earnings for the week? Well, I know that the employee earned or worked 38.90 hours, and I'm going to multiply that by the regular rate of pay. This employee gets paid $12.15. So this employee is going to make $472.64. Okay? That is how much this employee is going to get paid. So how do we do that? we got the 38.90 hours times the $12.15 per hour. Okay, and that gives me 472.64. So this is how we calculate hours using a time card. And of course, they deduct points based on a system, a tardy system, to where depending on the number of minutes that you're late is the fraction of hours that you're going to be deducted. Okay, so this is an excellent problem that's going to help us read an actual payroll record, which is a time card, be able to calculate the daily hours worked, the total hours worked for the week, and then the gross earnings for the week. Okay, so this is the last problem I'm going to be covering for this particular week. Please make sure that you meet the assignment deadlines. Refer to your syllabus. Everything is outlined in your syllabus. And if you have any questions, I'm available Monday through Friday. Make sure that you reach out to me during that time frame. I also have office hours every day if you need to contact me. And that is it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. And until next time, thank you.